Hey guys, as I'm new to the game, welcome though to Echo of Souls. In this shortish kind of guide, I'm going to show you the first dungeon. This game's heavily played on dungeoning for your own class gear. There's no group up with a team, have someone steal your gear from you, and then you got to keep working for it to pay for it. They drop gear specifically for your class. The gear I'm showing you right now is from that, and the hidden cavern in front of me is the first dungeon at level 10 that you use of the 14. I'm showing you on the map right where it is. It's in the southwest. You just do the storyline enough and you'll come up to that point. This dungeon is not hard. I'm actually the archer bard, which in like any game, it's not normally together, but is a bard, but I'm an offensive type bard. So don't expect the most offense from me, but I plan on playing with friends, so I would like to help them out when I get the chance. If you come into a dungeon and you don't see the monsters, if you want to keep rerunning it, the reason I showed this is because you have to come out and manually reset the dungeon. To do this, and I'm sorry I left the loading screens in, to do this, you go to the bottom right, click on Dungeon, and go to Dungeon Info. After doing this, you're going to look for the dungeon you're going to. The only dungeon I have is Hidden Tavern. Then click on the bottom left and hit Reset Dungeon and hit Confirm. After doing that, you can go back in the dungeon and the monsters will in fact be there. If they're not, I'm sorry. It's a closed beta, sorta, at the moment, so expect some bugs. So you're just gonna work your way through, and while I'm doing this until we get to the important parts about this particular cavern, I just want to say don't try to fight more than 1 or 2 at a time when you first start, unless you're at least level 12 to 13. Then you maybe 3 or 4, but be careful. Now to the game itself, granted, I mean, there's a lot of uniqueness. There's your average 5 classes, and there's the warrior, the rogue, the archer, the sorceress, and the something. Yep, the something. It's probably the best one. But this game has that feeling that it encourages you to PvP, but it also encourages you to, instead of just be the archer that goes around all the time and shoot things and you're done and just move on and move on, you can play a defensive role, which makes soloing stuff a lot harder. But later on, when you're going to be fighting a battle with a team, you feel like you're actually helping instead of going, oh sweet, I'm doing everything for everyone, I don't need anybody's help, I'm going to stand back here. No, you're very important and you need to help your teammates, which is why I like the class I chose. There's 2 options for every single class, all of which I'm not fully aware of yet. I might cover, I might not. Now back to this part of the dungeon. This is where you're going to get your first bit of loot for your class. And don't forget to loot the bodies for gems. So basically, what you're going to do is, where I'm shooting the whatever it's called right in front of me, you're going to take a right. You go right up there and you're going to kill 2 of these little rock dudes or whatever. Please don't flame at me for not knowing the names, because I will never learn the names. But there's a chest, as you can see up in the top middle of my screen, and that's where you're going to get your first generated piece of loot from. It's actually not going to be from a kill. So make sure you come up and loot that every time, and don't think you have to just kill the boss all the time in order to get something. I already have the loot, and by the way, keep this in mind, even if you pick Bard, you can still get the Huntress Archer stuff, which is the DPS Archer. And always take that potion, because when you use it on the boss coming up, it makes it so they're a little bit weaker. You can do the fight easier, and you don't have to use up these things called souls in order to like boost yourself up in order to win, so you can save them for later, which is exactly what I do. But other than that potion that we just saw in the chest, sometimes you'll find pieces of gear. You'll find your boots, your clothes, legs. If yeah, they have legs in this one. Sorry, I've been playing too much Terra. And on top of that, I don't believe, don't quote me, but I have yet to find a bow in here. So I'm gonna stop looking for a bow in here. And as you can see right there, just off killing that monster, I did in fact find boots for, I believe it was the Bard Archer. But then you're gonna come in here, and this is the very end of it. You're just gonna kill these two flying things. You don't have to worry about anything else in here unless you have a quest telling you to do so. And just destroy them. They aren't hard to kill, so don't like go all out to kill them. Then you're gonna get the message, and this is to the point where you should be like, alright, sweet. Wait for them to spawn, use any buffs you may have, and then use the purple potion you just gathered from the chest like I did. It debuffs him so that he's easier to hit, and when the giant red circle comes up, just run away, dodge, do anything. I get hit by it later because I'm not too worried about it, but I did want to show you, yes, you can get out, but you do have to dodge or start immediately, or dodging at him works, oddly enough. To do that, loot him. You'll find possibly a second or a third piece of your gear, and that's all there is to the dungeon. I'm going to cover every dungeon as I come to it, or any, I might make a crafting video. If you have any requests for this game, granted I'm new to it, feel free to ask on the video, send me a personal message on the channel, and I will do my best to make a proper guide for you. You guys all have a good day, thanks for watching, and come back soon.